I want to give you a 2021 book club list. This is what we read on my real estate team in 2021. And it's very good for real estate teams, real estate agents, even for real estate investors. There's not all real estate books involved here, but the reason that they're structured in the way that they do, and the months are very specific as they go from January all the way through to December. This was our first year of the book club. At the end, I'm going to give you a preview of our 2022 book club list. But this will go over what we did in 2021. Again, if you run a real estate team, are a real estate agent, or are an aspiring real estate investor, plenty of these books will help you. I would read them all in the order. There are a couple that are specific for agents, but I think you can probably replace one or two and be good. My name is Jonathan Greene. My real estate team, which did this, is called Streamlined Properties on Market. We're brokered by eXp Realty. And all of my agents are encouraged to read all of these books as they help us go through and we practice these dialogues and work through them as we go through the year and they build on each other month to month. So January of 2021 started with The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents by Hal Elrod. The original book is just The Miracle Morning, which I read as well. I love them both. I did the real estate agent one specifically because it dovetails into a February book. It's written in kind of a fictional context of two characters, Rick and Michelle. But some people find it a little corny. I don't. I think it kind of helps you get through the reading. But generally, The Miracle Morning is about setting your morning routine. A lot of people pretend like they do it, but starting it, setting it, getting up earlier when you're strapped for time and can't manage your time well is a key. I've used this plenty of times to create new structures and schedules around my life. And the reason I start my agents on this in January is to give them a benchmark of how to set themselves up for success. So that was January 2021. For February 2021, we moved right into 7L, The 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Mayer. It's actually the same characters, Rick and Michelle, that are in that book as well. And 7L, I love. It's one of my favorite books for real estate agents because it will basically explain to you how you can be a great relationship builder and create an unlimited stream of potential referrals only by just building those relationships. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to do anything extra. I mean, you spend a little money on the meals when you pick your top place where you're going to eat all your meals and set all of your meetings. One of the coolest things about it is he sets up a format where you find a place where you're always going to do, you're going to hold your meetings. You will set back-to-back meetings. You set each one a little bit before the last one ends so that each meeting you're also introducing two other people together so you can start building a spider web community and assisting other people. So that's January and February. March of 2021, we read The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. This book we use every single week because every Monday on my team, we go over our one thing for the week. The general principle behind the one thing is, can you pick one thing this week that is greater than all others that will help you move it forward? I believe that the phraseology that's most used is, what is the one thing you can do this week that will make all other things either easier or irrelevant? Maybe not irrelevant is not the right term, but that's it. It's really, we want all of our agents to pick one major thing that will push their business forward each week. We've had to modify around that a lot, but it's a very good way to focus top down. And if you can accomplish the one thing, it's going to make everything else easier. I think figuring out what the one thing is harder than people think it is, but when you get good at it, you're really going to start to get more productive and increase everything in your business. In April of 2020, we read what is arguably in my top 5 books. It's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. There are a lot of books like this, but this book, The Slight Edge, just really, I feel like it talks to you like a person who anybody can get it and understand it. It's caring and doesn't really push you in terms of like, you need to do these things. It's just about the slight edge. You know, can you do the little things each day that will eventually amount to bigger things? The cool thing about the Slight Edge is they also have versions for teenagers. I did try to push these on my kids in their teenage years. they were not accepting. But I do think that in time, they would love The Slight Edge. I think this is one of the books that my agents got the most out of. I've read it several times, and I really feel like it's a huge, huge life changer to follow The Slight Edge and understand that it's the little things that matter. And again, it's the little things that you don't do that can put you in the negative pattern. In May, we read the book Sold by David Greene, who you might know as the host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. This book is fantastic for brand new agents. It actually had come out in 2021, and I subbed it in because I got it, reviewed it, and felt like it's a real good overview of what it's going to take to be a real estate agent. There's a lot of helpful advice, as many of the Bigger Pockets books are. It's really nuts and bolts, and it's going to tell you, like, these are things you need to do. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. If you're a new real estate agent, read this book. And we're not related, even though our last names are spelled the same. In June, we read The Conversion Code by my friend Chris Smith, who runs with Jimmy Mackin a company called Curator. That's Curaytor, real estate marketing company. They do websites, everything for agents. I work with them for a long time. I spoke at Curator Excellence a few years ago, so I know them pretty well. The Conversion Code is the best sales technique book that I've read. Chris has a very, very smart way of getting across to agents, you need to do this. This is why you need to do this. This is why it's going to be successful. And again, I think what you'll find in this is a lot of these books are all, whether or not they're sales techniques, they're all relationship based. In order to do well at sales, you have to be good at relationships. On my team, we don't think about ourselves as real estate salespeople. We just think of ourselves as advisors, and our job is to build relationships. And if we do that well, it will will turn into business. And if it doesn't, it will turn into business some other way. You're still doing good for people. In July of 2021, we read again another of my favorite books, Never Split the Difference by FBI negotiator Chris Voss. I've also taken his masterclass. This is the only one that I would recommend listening to the audiobook, because the voice inflections that Chris uses in this negotiation book are so important, which includes the late night DJ voice, how you talk to people, NLP, things like that. If you have a masterclass subscription, I've completed more than 30 masterclasses. I have a problem. The Chris Voss one is really great. It's really great for everybody. But I think if you're in any business where negotiation, which includes a family, and you have children, you're going to want to negotiate with them. It's a fantastic book. It goes over, high-end hostage techniques that you can take when your kids are holding you hostage. But I think you'll find a lot of value in that as well. And again, these are set up January to December in order for a reason. So if you're a real estate team and you want to set up a book club, I would put them in this order for this year, and then you can follow our order for next year as well. In August, we read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's really the go-to book that so many real estate investors say is the one book that got them started and kind of changed their mindset on what real estate investing was. Because we're an investor-friendly team, which we still work with every kind of client, but we call ourselves investor-friendly because we believe that every transaction is an investment in real estate. Rich Dad Poor Dad, I want all of my agents to become real estate investors, to figure out how to make money that way as well as a supplement to their agent income. So reading this book is one of the best books to get started. If you listen to real estate podcasts, probably 50% of real estate investors cite Rich Dad Poor Dad as the book that got them into it. September of 2021, we read Essentialism by Greg Mcewen. He also has a great podcast, and he's been on Tim Ferriss's podcast. He has a very strong point of view on how to figure out what's essential in your life. And I think you can get great value out of figuring out what's important and what's not. He has some great personal anecdotes, and I like his style a lot. All of these books are easy to read. None of them are hard reads. You can finish them easily, all within a month. And Greg Mcewen, if you listen to his podcast and listen to him talk, he's really there to set you up for success and identify what parts of your life are more important than others. In October, and as you'll see, we scaled really out of the majority of real estate as we get here. We did Essentialism in September, and then October, we read Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I've read all of his books. And I believe this one is the one that is a nice smack in the face for people who don't think they have an ego, or that ego isn't a big deal in all of our lives. You will go through it and find a lot of things that sting a little bit when you read them. But I think if we all come to terms with what things are acting on behalf of our ego and what aren't, we're in much better shape. It helps you relate better to your clients. This is a good life book. Again, I want my agents, first of all, to develop a great life, feel good about that. And with that will come better service in real estate. November of 2021, we read The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Luncioni. I love this book. If you're a team leader and you haven't read this, you better read it now. This is the book that will explain to you why you need to let people off your team in order to make it better, and how to create a team dynamic that's stable while being a leader, but also a caretaker. I really like this. It's definitely, again, I've read all of these more than once now. And then in December, we just finished the year with Zen and the Art of Happiness by Chris Prentice. And this is a good way to wrap up the year. I wanted my agents to read something that can propel them into 2021 feeling good, but also identify things about their mindfulness that they could change and adjust to. And in general, this is a book about accepting what is there and believing that there's always something good coming around the corner and that we can't control the universe. So that was it. That was 2021. I think that having a book club as a real estate team, or if you're a real estate agent, you can just follow along with us and read our book club, and feel free to pop any comments down below on which books you liked the most. That's 2021. For 2022, I'm going to give you our list now, and then in another video at the end of the year, I will run down a little bit more details on them. But this is our 2022 list. In the comments or in the description below, I'll actually post both lists so you have them. Excuse me. Here you go. 2022, January, we just started The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. You can also get updates from him at Darren Daly. Those are about 2 to 3 minute clips that you get every morning. February, reading an old school favorite, one of my favorites of all time, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. In March, we're reading Hyper Sales Growth by Jack Daly. I don't usually think I'm going to enjoy specific sales books. And when I read this, again, obviously I've read all these, or I couldn't recommend them to my team. I was all in on this one. In April, we're again going old school. I like to mix it up. I don't want them all to be modern retellings of what other people have said. So April, we're going in How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is just a relationship business, and I want my agents to be able to build good relationships and do it the right way. In May, we're going to read Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. Prospecting is not something that we do on an outbound cold basis, but what I want my agents and real estate agents really in general need to be comfortable with is obviously replying and learning how to prospect on their own, figuring out their niche. This book is going to set them up for success in that area. In June, we're reading This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. I mean, if you know him, he's very wise. And I feel like extremely philosophical on what marketing is and what it isn't. This will explain exactly what they need to know, and it will help them brand themselves as they brand under our brand, which is under our brokerage as well. July is a great book for people who have control issues. It's called Who Not How by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. This is a really, really good book. If you can't lay stuff down and you don't know which things are important, you can combine it with Essentialism from last year, move into Who Not How. Basic premise is, if someone can do this, even probably 80% as good as you, why aren't you letting somebody else do it so you can focus on the higher value thing? Or if you don't like doing something on a daily basis, wouldn't it be worth it to pay someone to do it so you can be doing something that you like? In August, we're reading Skill by David Greene, which isn't out yet, but I know it's going to be a great follow-up to Sold. And I like to read in certain orders a lot of these books, like Compound Effect is a kind of follow-up to The Slight Edge. And that's what I like to do as I set up these book clubs year to year. In September, we're going to read Big Money Energy by Ryan Serhant. A lot of people know him as the flashiness of the TV on $1 Million Listing New York. This is a good book. You can like him or not like him. I think he's extremely entertaining and a good real estate agent. But this book is really good. And it goes to kind of his background, how he got started, and if he can do that, Anybody can do it, but you have to have the mindset and the big money energy in order to get there. In October, we're reading Unshakeable by Tony Robbins. It is Tony Robbins' non-motivational. It's a money book because I want my agents to know how to handle their money, what to do with their money, and set out long-term plans as they work in real estate investing to plan for what to do with their money. In November, we're going to read The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Aker. And that's, again, another, towards the end of the year, I really want agents to start getting focused on how to get themselves set up personally for the next year. This is a great one to make sure that we're focused on our own happiness. And in December, we're going to follow up again with The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I specifically didn't include real estate investing books in 2022 because I think they're going to read those on their own. And these are set up in a way that I think it works well off of what we did in 2021. If you have any comments, pop them below. If you've read these books, tell me which ones you like the most. Again, these are real estate team focused. They can work for real estate investors, but they can really work for anybody. If you're in these fields, you can pick and choose which books might work for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.